what we're going to do is we're going to plot a linear relation on our class pad, and we'll find the x and y intercepts of that particular graph. So first things first, to plot a graph or to plot a relation on our class pad, we need to have y the subject. Okay, so that is, we need to have our relation in the form y equals. It doesn't necessarily have to be mx plus c, just has to be y equals. So let's take the relation 2x plus y equals 3. Okay, the calculator won't plot this if I type it in like this. Now there's a couple of ways of changing it. We can do a transpose to make y the subject by hand, which would be to take 2x from both sides, cancelling out, leaving us with y equals 3, take 2x. So I could plot this portion on the calculator, but just say we had a tougher linear relation that was more difficult to transpose. We can actually get the calculator to do it for us. I'll still work with this linear equation here, and we're going to transpose that one to make y the subject. You can do it with any particular relation that you want to do. So the first thing is we'll go to Action, Advanced, and Solve. That brings up the Solve template. Now we type in our relation. It's 2x plus y equals, what was it, 3. So Solve always wants to know what you want to make the subject, so we'll go comma y, close our brackets, and execute. So there's our transposed relation, y equals negative 2x plus 3. They've just written it in y equals mx plus c form on the calculator, or put the x term first. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll bring up the part of the calculator that allows us to put functions into graph. So if you click the down arrow now and bring up this one, y1, y2, y3, this will allow us to input the relation. A couple of ways you can do it. You can type it manually. So y1 equals negative 2x plus 3. Or you can actually use your stylus to highlight this part of it and drag it in here. Okay, so now let's graph it. I need to make sure the box is checked, and then I hit this button here, and that plots the relation. Now don't forget, if some relations go off the page or you can't actually see it, really important to hit that button there and adjust your screen settings. So often there's two things. If you hit the graph button and you don't see your relations, so if you don't see, once you've hit that button there, your straight line graph, there's a couple of things to look at. Make sure you've checked the box, and the second thing is make sure the screen dimensions are appropriate. One way of getting an idea of the screen dimensions is to look for that plus C. That means the y-intercept is 3, so at least I know I need it to go up to there. Okay, so now remember, it's pretty easy to find the intercepts. There's a couple of ways of doing it. We make sure that that screen's clicked on, go to Analysis, G-Solve. There's a couple of ways of doing it. Y-intercept, you can go to that. I just like using the Y-cal and X-cal. So the Y calculation we're going to do when x equals 0. That'll give us the y-intercept. So there's the y-intercept when x is 0. So I'm going to write that down. When x is 0, y is equal to, where's my calculator gone? Y is equal to 3 in this case. So that's the x-intercept. And again, G-solve, we're going to use x-cal, we'll put y equals 0 in this case, and that'll tell us that the x-intercept is 1.5 and the y value is 0. Of course it is. So let's try it again. 0. So there are 2 points that we'll use to plot, so then I could draw up my Cartesian plane and plot those points as I saw fit, blah blah blah, and that would be our graph.